Imagine you're out there living it up on your fancy cruise when out of nowhere, a bunch of Somali pirates decide to crash your party. Yeah, you heard me right, Somali pirates. These guys aren't just a Hollywood myth. They're the real deal, and they mean business. Those kind of scenarios are exactly what we're going to discuss in this video. And trust me, such events have actually happened in real life. Today we're uncovering the shocking truth about Somali pirates targeting luxury cruise ships and what really happens when paradise turns into peril. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Now, who wouldn't love a cruise? I mean, luxury accommodation, 5-star meals, and all the ocean views you can handle. But did you know, despite their massive size, cruise ships are still vulnerable to pirate attacks? Yep, even these floating palaces can fall prey to pirates looking for a big payday. So what's the deal with these pirates? Well, Somali pirates are notorious for targeting civilian ships, cargo vessels, tankers, and yes, even cruise ships. Why? Simple. They're after the money. They hijack these ships, take hostages, and demand huge ransoms. Imagine being stranded in the middle of the ocean, far from any help and taken hostages by pirates. Scary stuff, huh? The fact is, even though cruising is considered one of the safest ways to travel, safer than cars, planes, or trains, pirates still pose a threat. Somali pirates are particularly infamous for their brutal tactics and high activity levels. They operate primarily in the Gulf of Aden, a critical maritime route for global trade. The Gulf of Aden is a super important waterway. It connects the Red Sea to the Indian Ocean and is crucial for transporting oil from the Persian Gulf. About 11% of the world's seaborne oil passes through here, and the opening of the Suez Canal in 1869 made this route even more strategic, cutting travel distance between Europe and Asia by nearly 40%. Here's some data. In the last decade, there have been 6 reported attempts to hijack cruise ships. These pirates don't mess around. They've used everything from firearms to rocket launchers to seize these floating giants. So, what happens if Somali pirates target a cruise ship, which, by the way, isn't armed to the teeth like a battleship? And how do the brave crew protect thousands of passengers in the middle of nowhere? Good questions, right? Let's break it down. First off, you might wonder, why don't cruise ships have weapons? Well, arming a cruise ship would violate the laws of many countries they visit. It's all about international regulations, my friends. But that doesn't mean they're sitting ducks. Remember the Seaborne Spirit incident back in 2005? It's one of the most famous pirate attacks on a cruise ship. Picture this. You're sailing from Alexandria, Egypt, to Mombasa, Kenya, enjoying the ocean breeze, when suddenly you're in Somali pirate territory. Out of nowhere, 2 armed boats zoom in, just 100 miles off the Somali coast. These guys doesn't play around, armed with AK-47s and even RPGs. As the pirates get closer, they open fire with machine guns and RPGs, aiming to hijack the ship. The brave captain tries to shake them off by creating waves to flip the pirate boats, even coming dangerously close to ramming one of them. Can you imagine looking out your window and seeing pirates with RPGs and machine guns? Some passengers even managed to capture this insane moment on video. The pirates managed to fire 3 RPGs at the Seaborne Spirit, causing a fire on the ship. But thanks to the ship's massive size, the damage is surprisingly minimal. Even with a fire on board, the crew stays cool under pressure. They tried to keep the pirates away by using non-lethal weapons installed on their ships, namely L-raids, or long-range acoustic device, a device that blasts ear-piercing sound waves. It's like a super loud, really annoying alarm clock for pirates. The crew also uses high-powered water hoses to keep the pirates at bay. The captain then makes a quick decision to change course from Kenya to the Seychelles and step on the gas toward their new destination. Thanks to the crew's quick thinking and heroic efforts, they managed to fend off the pirates. Only 1 crew member got injured by shrapnel, but everyone else was safe. Talk about a close call. Now let's fast forward to April the 25th, 2009, and meet the MSC Melody, the 204 meters long, 30 meters wide, and 35,000 tons cruise ship. This ship is cruising from Durban, South Africa, to Genoa, Italy, when it encounters a pirate attack about 300 kilometers off the Seychelles. But the thing is, the MSC Melody had learned a thing or two from the Seaborne Spirit incident. The Melody, carrying around 1,000 passengers and 500 crew members, is attacked by 6 small pirate boats. These pirates think they're in for an easy payday, trying to board the ship with ropes and ladders, but surprise, surprise, the Melody had hired an Israeli security team to protect the ship. These guys aren't messing around. As the pirates attempt to board, the security team springs into action, opening fire and forcing the pirates to retreat. It's like an action movie scene. But for real, thanks to this top-notch security, there were no casualties, and the MSC Melody able to continue its journey without a hitch. So, even though cruise ships are civilian vessels, pirate attacks have made them beef up their defenses. We're talking high-tech gear and smart strategies to keep those pesky pirates at bay. Some ships have state-of-the-art security systems, but most rely on non-lethal defenses like the L-Raid, basically a super loud pirate-annoying sound cannon. And water hoses. Water hoses, you ask? Yep. These aren't your garden variety hoses. These bad boys can shoot high-pressure water powerful enough to knock pirates off their feet or push their boats away. They can be operated remotely or set to automatic by the crew. Imagine getting hit by a fire hydrant blast while trying to climb aboard a ship. Pretty effective, right? But some folks debate how effective these water hoses really are. Remember the MV Maersk, Alabama incident from Captain Phillips? Even with defenses, it got hijacked by Somali pirates. The good news, the US Navy came to the rescue. So while water hoses can flood and hinder pirate boats, making them hard to maneuver, their overall effectiveness is still up for debate. Cruise ships also come equipped with early detection and warning systems. Think radars, sonar, and fancy communication gear. These systems help spot suspicious boats long before they get too close. If a threat is detected, the crew and passengers get a heads up to prepare and take precautionary measures. Another smart move, changing course or speed to avoid pirate hotspots. Cruise ships are pretty fast and can outrun most pirate skiff, keeping passengers safe and sound. And the fact is, Somali pirates typically don't target cruise ships. Out of thousands of hijack attempts, only 6 involved cruise ships in the past decade. And guess what? All 6 failed. So why don't pirates go after cruise ships more often? It's all about smart strategies and sometimes a bit of muscle. First up, well, these ships are huge with strict security protocols. Plus, hijacking a giant cruise ship is kind of tricky. Pirates prefer smaller, easier targets they can stash and ransom. So our floating palaces aren't their top choice. Cruise ships also prefer to avoid known danger zones like the plague. If they have to sail through these risky areas, they team up with authorities and other ships to minimize the chances of an attack. Some cruise ships even hire private armed security to keep the pirates at bay. These guys come armed to the teeth with pistols, rifles, and even machine guns, ready to shoot or scare off any pirate foolish enough to try their luck. But the thing is, most cruise lines prefer to avoid danger altogether rather than go full Rambo on the high seas. When things get really dicey, civilian ships rely on military assistance as a last resort. We all know what happens when the Navy gets involved. It's game over for the pirates. But even then, it's not a free-for-all shooting spree. The military has to be super careful, especially if the pirates have hostages. Nobody wants unnecessary casualties, not even those criminal pirates. You might wonder, why do the military and security forces worry about the safety of the pirates? Well, it's all about strategy. Aggressive pirates with hostages can turn a bad situation into a disaster. So, the military plans their moves like a high-stakes chess game, making sure they neutralize the threat without putting more lives at risk. But here's a question for you. Why do you think the military bothers with pirate safety? Shouldn't they just go all out? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this info as cool as I did, smash that subscribe button so you never miss out on more exciting and educational content. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notified when we drop another awesome video. Until next time, peace.